Welcome to Health Simplified, where we take deep dives into fascinating topics.
Right.
Today, we're going to be talking about increasing lifespan.
Ooh, that's a good one.
I know it's something that's captivated humanity,
Yeah.
for centuries. This idea of living longer, and now with the advancements in science,
Right.
it feels like we're getting closer and closer to actually making that a reality.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think what's so captivating about this field is that we're moving beyond simply accepting aging as this inevitable thing and starting to see it as a disease that we can potentially target and treat.
Right. It is almost like a science fiction concept, right?
Yeah.
Like we used to think about, living to 200 years old, and that was just crazy talk.
Yeah.
But now it's like, maybe not so crazy.
Yeah.
I remember reading in Lifespan this analogy about a fictional virus, line 1,
Yeah.
that makes people age.
Uh-huh.
And it was this idea that if aging were caused by a virus, wouldn't we pour all of our resources into finding a cure?
Absolutely. And we probably would have found it by now.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. That's a brilliant way to frame it. I think we used to think of diseases like polio were just facts of life.
Right.
And now they're practically eradicated
Yeah.
thanks to medical advancements.
Mm.
Could aging be next?
Makes you wonder, right? But before we get too ahead of ourselves,
Yeah.
let's talk about, the limits we're dealing with.
Mm-hmm.
We know people have lived to be over 120.
Right.
Gene Calment supposedly made it to 122.
Yeah, incredible.
But that's incredibly rare.
Yeah, Lifespan points out that 95% of people die before they even hit 100.
Wow.
So we're talking about pushing both the average lifespan and the maximum lifespan.
Right.
That's where the research gets really exciting.
Okay, so how do we actually push those limits?
Yeah.
Lifespan talks about this information theory of aging,
Yeah.
and it sounds pretty complex. Could you break it down for us?
Yeah, so think of it this way. Aging is like a loss of information at the cellular level.
Okay.
Imagine an old DVD player struggling to read a scratched disc. Our cells, over time, they accumulate damage and they lose the information they need to function properly. That's what leads to wrinkles and weakened immunity and, all those other hallmarks of getting older.
So basically, our cells are losing their instruction manuals, and that's
Mhm.
causing them to malfunction.
Precisely. And the good news is if aging is about information loss, then we might be able to find ways to restore that information, like cleaning a scratched DVD.
Now, that's a thought that sparks some hope.
Mm-hmm.
So where do we even begin with this, restoring this cellular information?
Well, one of the most exciting discoveries has been the identification of these things called longevity genes,
Okay.
specifically a family called sirtuins.
The twins.
Yeah, so think of them as like a survival circuit in our cells.
Okay.
When our cells are under stress, these sirtuins activate and they help repair the damage.
So it's incredible to think that we have these built-in defenses against aging.
Oh.
So does that mean we can just flick a switch and activate them whenever we want?
Oh man, I wish it were that simple. But we are learning that certain lifestyle choices can directly influence how active those sirtuins are.
Okay.
And it turns out there are a few key interventions that can really make a difference.
Okay, this is where it gets really interesting for me, and I bet for our listeners too. What can we do today
Yeah.
to tap into these survival circuits and potentially live longer, healthier lives?
Well, let's start with one that's been studied extensively, calorie restriction.
Okay.
We've seen in various organisms from yeast to primates that limiting calorie intake can actually extend lifespan.
And there's evidence of this in humans too, right?
And there's even fascinating evidence in humans, yeah.
Wasn't there an experiment, Biosphere 2, where they had people living in a sealed environment and limiting their calories? What happened there?
That's exactly it. They lived that way for 2 years, and the results were pretty remarkable. They experienced significant physiological changes, including lower blood pressure, cholesterol, and blood sugar.
Wow.
It really mimicked a lot of the effects seen in calorie-restricted animals.
So even in humans, cutting calories seems to have a measurable impact on the aging process. But let's be honest, strict calorie restriction doesn't sound very appealing or sustainable for most people.
You're absolutely right. It's not for everyone,
Yeah.
but it does highlight this powerful connection between what we eat and how we age.
Right.
And there are less extreme ways to harness some of these benefits.
Well, that's a relief.
Yeah.
What about exercise?
Yeah.
We all know it's good for us, but does it actually impact longevity?
Here's the exciting part. Exercise actually activates those longevity genes we talked about.
Really?
And it's not just about spending hours at the gym. Both Zone 2 training, which is long, steady cardio, and VO2 max training with its high-intensity bursts have shown positive effects on cellular health.
You know, that makes me think about all those people we see hiking mountains well into their 70s and 80s that take serious VO2 max.
Yeah.
It's inspiring to know that we can build that kind of resilience even as we age.
Absolutely. And then, of course, we can't forget about sleep. It's so easy to neglect in our busy lives.
Oh yeah, tell me about it.
But it plays such a vital role in everything from metabolic health to cognitive function.
Oh, sleep. It always feels like the first thing to go when
Yeah.
life gets hectic, but tell me why it's so crucial for longevity.
Think of sleep as your body's nightly repair crew.
Okay.
It's when our cells regenerate, our hormones rebalance, and our brains consolidate memories. Skimping on sleep is like skipping out on essential maintenance for your entire system.
Okay. I'm officially convinced that sleep needs to be a priority.
Mhm.
So we've covered diet, exercise, and sleep as like these key lifestyle interventions. But what about actual medications or therapies? Is there anything on the horizon that could further extend lifespan?
There are some incredibly exciting developments in the works. One that's been making headlines is metformin, a drug commonly used to treat diabetes.
Wait, a common diabetes drug might hold the key to living longer? That's wild.
What's remarkable is that studies suggest it might have benefits beyond blood sugar control,
Wow.
potentially increasing lifespan in various organisms.
So are you telling me that a drug that's already out there could have these like hidden longevity benefits?
It's a prime example of how even medications we're familiar with can have surprising benefits.
That's fascinating. So are there any other promising drugs or therapies being explored for longevity? I'm ready for more cutting-edge science.
Oh, there are some incredibly exciting developments beyond metformin. One area that's creating a lot of buzz is NMN.
Okay, NMN. I've heard that before.
Yeah.
Remind me, what is it and why should I care?
So NMN is a molecule that boosts levels of something called NAD.
Okay, NMN, NAD.
Yeah.
Those are definitely words I've heard before.
They're making the rounds in the longevity world.
But how do they actually connect to making us live longer?
So NAD is this coenzyme found in all living cells,
Okay.
and it's essential for energy production, and it also plays this crucial role in activating those sirtuins, our cellular defenders.
Those survival circuits.
Exactly.
As we talked about.
The survival circuits. And here's the thing, as we age, our NAD levels naturally decline.
Okay, so less of the good stuff.
Less of the good stuff as we get older, but that's where NMN swoops in.
Okay, the hero of our story.
It acts as a precursor to NAD, so it essentially boosts those levels back up.
I'm starting to see the connection here. More NMN, more NAD, more activated sirtuins, and potentially a slower aging process.
You got it. That's the idea.
So is this like the fountain of youth in a pill?
Well, we're not quite there yet. There's still much research to be done, but some early studies and anecdotal evidence are quite compelling.
I remember reading about Dr. Sinclair's father taking NMN
Yes.
and noticing like a significant improvement in his energy levels and overall well-being.
It's an interesting story.
It sounds almost too good to be true.
It does sound pretty amazing, right?
Right.
It's important to remember that anecdotal evidence is always interesting, but it's not the same as rigorous scientific proof.
Right.
But his experience, along with ongoing research, it points to the potential of NMN as a longevity intervention.
Okay. I'm definitely intrigued.
Yeah.
NMN is on my radar now. What else is out there in this world of anti-aging therapies?
Another really exciting area is senolytics.
Senolytics.
Yeah.
Now, those are those drugs that target and eliminate senescent cells, right?
Right? You got it, those zombie cells that contribute to aging and disease.
The zombie cells, yes. I remember us talking about those before.
They're trouble.
But reminding, why are these cells so problematic?
So senescent cells, they're basically cells that have stopped dividing but haven't died off like they're supposed to.
But just hanging around,
They're hanging around like zombies.
causing trouble.
They secrete these harmful substances that damage nearby healthy cells.
Ugh, party crashers.
It's like having a bunch of tiny troublemakers wreaking havoc in your body.
So by getting rid of these cellular zombies with senolytics, we could potentially slow down the aging process and reduce the risk of age-related diseases.
That is the hope, and the research on senolytics is progressing rapidly.
That's exciting.
There are already a number of senolytic drugs in development and in clinical trials.
This is all starting to feel like science fiction in the best way possible.
I know, it's really cool.
It's incredible to think that we might have these tools to target these specific cellular processes that are contributing to aging.
Yeah, and we haven't even touched on one of the most mind-blowing areas of research, cellular reprogramming.
Okay, cellular reprogramming, that sounds intense. What is that all about?
Imagine this using a specific set of genes. We can essentially turn back the clock on adult cells,
Wait, hold on.
converting them back into stem cells.
Are you telling me we can reverse the age of cells? That's like something out of a movie?
It's truly remarkable. Cellular reprogramming has the potential to revolutionize regenerative medicine.
Wow.
Imagine being able to repair damaged organs or even reverse some aspects of aging at a cellular level.
So like we could take cells from an older person, reprogram them back to like a youthful state,
Hmm.
and then use those cells to like repair tissues or even grow new organs.
That's the ultimate vision.
That's incredible.
It is.
It's hard to even wrap my head around that. It's
Yeah.
pretty mind-blowing.
It's super cool. Of course, cellular reprogramming is still in its early stages, but the progress being made is truly astounding.
The possibilities are just endless, it seems like.
They really are.
And the ethical implications must be huge, too.
Absolutely. The ability to manipulate cells at this level raises all sorts of questions about, how we define aging and disease and even life itself.
Right. It's like, what does it even mean to be old anymore if we can reverse the age of our cells?
Exactly.
The whole philosophical can of worms.
It really is. But along with the ethical considerations comes this tremendous potential for improving human health and extending lifespan.
Yeah. It's like a whole new frontier we're stepping into.
It is.
So with all these like cutting edge approaches, reprogramming cells, lytics, all these things we've been talking about, is there anything even more on the horizon? I'm ready to dive even deeper into the future of longevity.
You're in luck because there is.
Okay, let's hear
Let's
that.
talk about gene editing,
Okay.
specifically a technology called CRISPR.
CRISPR, that's one I've heard about.
It's a big one.
It's like molecular scissors that can cut and paste DNA, right?
Exactly. CRISPR gives us the ability to precisely alter our DNA. Imagine correcting genetic defects that contribute to disease.
Wow.
Or even enhancing certain genes that promote longevity.
Whoa. Gene editing to enhance longevity. That is next level stuff, but
Yeah.
messing with our genes sounds a bit daunting.
It is a powerful tool that demands extreme caution and careful ethical consideration.
Of course.
There's still much to learn about the potential risks and long-term consequences, but the possibilities are immense.
I can only imagine. Okay, I'm officially mind blown. We've gone from tweaking our lifestyles to reprogramming cells, and now we're talking about editing genes.
It's wild, right?
It's amazing how rapidly this field is advancing.
It is really incredible, and alongside these specific technologies, there's this growing movement toward personalized medicine.
Personalized medicine, okay. What does that look like in the context of longevity?
This involves using our individual genetic information, lifestyle data, and other biomarkers to create these highly customized healthcare and longevity strategies.
Okay, so personalized medicine for longevity.
Right.
I love the sound of that.
Right.
It seems like everything we've talked about today is pointing toward this future where we can take a more proactive and individualized approach to extending our health span.
Absolutely. Imagine having this deep understanding of your unique genetic predispositions, your current biological age, and how specific lifestyle choices or therapies might impact your longevity. That's the power of personalized medicine.
It's like having a roadmap for a longer, healthier life.
Yeah, it is.
But with all this, incredible advancements on the horizon, it's easy to forget that we already have, a powerful set of tools at our disposal.
You're absolutely right. Even with all this cutting-edge science, we can't overlook the importance of the fundamentals. Our daily choices still matter tremendously.
So back to the basics: diet, exercise, sleep.
Exactly.
It seems like those foundational pillars are still critical, even in a future where we might be reprogramming cells and editing genes.
Couldn't agree more. These lifestyle factors, they create the foundation for healthy aging, no matter what other interventions we might explore in the future.
So let's dig back into those basics a little bit more, because I'm always curious about, what's the latest research saying about diet, for example?
Yeah.
There's so much conflicting information out there.
No, there is. It's a jungle.
It's hard to know what to believe.
Yeah.
What does science actually say about eating for a longer life?
You're not wrong. The world of nutrition is full of fads and contradictory advice.
Yeah, it's overwhelming.
It can be. But when it comes to longevity, the research points toward a few key principles.
Okay, give me the inside scoop. What should we be focusing on?
First, it's crucial to move away from this traditional model of focusing on single nutrients or food groups.
Okay.
It's not as simple as cutting out carbs or fat.
Right.
It's about understanding this complex interplay of different nutrients and how they impact our bodies over time.
So no magic bullet, just a holistic approach to eating.
Exactly. And this is where personalized nutrition comes in.
Yeah.
It's about tailoring your diet to your individual needs. And goals and tools like continuous glucose monitoring are giving us these incredible insights into how our bodies respond to different foods.
Oh, wow.
We can now see in real time how our blood sugar levels fluctuate after meals and make adjustments accordingly.
That's fascinating. So ditch the one-size-fits-all diets and just figure out what works best for each individual.
Exactly. And when it comes to longevity, there are a few nutrients that deserve special attention. One that's often overlooked is protein.
Protein, we tend to think of that for building muscle, but what's its connection to longevity?
Protein isn't just for building muscles, it provides the building blocks for all our cells, tissues, and organs.
Okay.
It's crucial for a healthy immune system, and our protein needs actually increase as we age.
Totally.
Yeah, because our bodies become less efficient at absorbing and utilizing it.
So making sure we're getting enough protein is key for maintaining muscle mass, strength, overall health as we get older.
Exactly. In addition to protein, there are other nutrients that play significant roles in longevity. Omega-3 fatty acids, antioxidants, and certain vitamins and minerals.
Okay, the usual suspects.
Exactly. And while we can get these nutrients from foods, supplementation can be beneficial, especially as we age,
Okay.
to fill in any nutritional gaps.
Makes sense. So we've talked about specific nutrients, but what about overall dietary patterns? Are there certain eating styles that have been linked to longer lifespans?
There are some common threads among the diets that have been associated with longevity.
Okay, like what?
Diets rich in fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and lean protein.
Okay.
Diets that emphasize whole unprocessed foods,
Okay.
and diets that minimize added sugars, unhealthy fats, and processed ingredients.
So basically a common sense approach to eating, focus on real food, limit the junk, and get a good balance of nutrients.
You got it. It's about creating a dietary pattern that supports overall health and well-being and reduces the risk of chronic diseases.
I can get behind that. Okay, so we've covered nutrition in detail. What about exercise? You mentioned earlier that it activates longevity genes. What type of exercise is best for a longer life?
Yeah, the most important thing is to find activities you enjoy and can stick with consistently.
Of course.
But a well-rounded exercise plan for longevity should include a mix of cardio strength training and flexibility exercises.
Okay, break that down for me. What are the benefits of each type of exercise, especially as we age?
So cardio strengthens the heart and lungs, improves circulation. Boosts mood and cognitive function. Strength training helps maintain muscle mass and bone density, which are crucial for preventing falls and maintaining mobility as we age. And flexibility exercises help maintain range of motion and prevent injuries.
You know, as a self-proclaimed cardio enthusiast, I'm happy to hear that it's good for longevity.
There you go.
But, you know, strength training always seems to fall by the wayside for me.
Yeah,
I need to work on that.
I hear you. It's easy to get stuck in our exercise routines, but remember, as we age, strength training becomes even more crucial. It helps counteract that natural muscle loss that occurs with aging and keeps us strong and independent.
Noted. So cardio, strength training, and flexibility. Got it. What about just incorporating exercise into our daily routines? Are there simple things we can do to just boost our activity levels?
Absolutely. Take the stairs instead of the elevator walk or bike to work. If possible, park farther away from your destination and stand up and move around every hour or so.
Simple changes that can make a big difference.
Exactly.
Yeah, I can't let you go without revisiting the topic of sleep.
Of course.
You know, we all know it's important, but why is it so crucial for longevity?
Think of sleep as your body's nightly reset button.
Okay.
It's when our cells repair and regenerate, our hormones rebalance, and our brains process and consolidate memories. Sleep is essential for maintaining a healthy immune system, regulating mood, and supporting cognitive function. Skimping on sleep is like running your body on fumes.
I know I've definitely felt the negative effects of not getting enough sleep. My energy levels plummet, my focus goes out the window, and my mood just takes a nosedive.
Oh.
Yeah. So what are your top tips for better sleep?
Consistency is key. Establish a regular sleep schedule, going to bed and waking up around the same time each day, even on weekends.
Even on weekends?
Even on weekends. This helps regulate your natural sleep-wake cycle.
I'm definitely guilty of sleeping in on weekends, but you're right, consistency is probably key. What else can we do to improve our sleep hygiene?
Create a relaxing bedtime routine to signal to your body that it's time to wind down. Take a warm bath, read a book, or listen to calming music. Avoid caffeine and alcohol before bed, and make sure your bedroom is dark, quiet, and cool.
Okay, those are all doable changes. So much of this longevity advice seems to come down to common sense.
It does.
But it's easy to let those healthy habits slip in our busy lives.
It is. It really is. It's about making those healthy choices consistently and prioritizing our well-being.
Well, we've covered a lot of ground today, from cutting-edge therapies to the importance of these basic lifestyle choices. But there's one more big question I want to explore. What are the broader implications of increasing lifespan for society as a whole? How would a world of longer lives reshape the way we live, work, and interact?
That's a fascinating question to ponder. How would a world of longer, healthier lives reshape society? It's almost like we're on the cusp of a whole new era, one where our current assumptions about work retirement, even family structures, might need to be completely reimagined.
It's both exciting and a bit daunting to think about. Let's start with like the most obvious area, the workforce.
Yeah.
If people are living longer and staying healthier for longer, that traditional model of retiring at 65 might become a thing of the past.
Exactly. Imagine a world where people in their 70s, 80s, or even 90s are still actively contributing to their fields, starting businesses, mentoring younger generations. It challenges the very notion of what old age even
It's
means.
a radical shift. We could
Oh.
have like a profound impact on economic productivity, right? Having a workforce with decades of accumulated knowledge and experience. But I also wonder, wouldn't this create more competition for jobs and resources, especially for younger generations just starting out?
That's a valid concern. We'd need to rethink career paths, create more flexible work arrangements, and foster better mentorship and knowledge transfer between generations. Perhaps we'll see a rise in multi-stage careers where people transition between different fields or roles throughout their longer lives.
It's almost like we need to redesign like the entire concept of work to fit a longer lifespan. And what about the impact on education? Wouldn't lifelong learning become even more essential in this new world?
Absolutely. In a society where people are living and working longer, the idea of education being confined to our younger years might become obsolete. We could see a surge in people going back to school in their 50s, 60s, or even 70s to acquire new skills or pursue entirely different careers.
It's fascinating to imagine a society where learning is this ongoing process throughout our lives rather than something we check off the list in our early years. And
Yeah.
what about healthcare? Wouldn't the demand for healthcare services just skyrocket if people are living longer?
That's a common concern. But here's where things get really interesting. If we're successful in preventing or delaying age-related diseases, the healthcare system might actually become less burdened, not more.
Now that's a thought-provoking twist.
Yeah.
So by focusing on preventing age-related diseases, we could potentially reduce the overall healthcare burden even with people living longer.
Precisely. It's a paradigm shift from treating disease to promoting health and longevity. Investing in preventative measures and early interventions could be far more cost effective than managing chronic diseases in a population that's living longer with more years of potential health challenges.
That makes a lot of sense. It's like investing in maintaining a car throughout its life rather than waiting for it to break down and then facing like major repairs. But beyond the economic considerations, I'm curious about the social and cultural implications. How would our relationships and family structures evolve in a world where people are living longer?
It's an intriguing question. We might see a rise in multi-generational households as people are living longer and staying active in their communities. This could lead to a greater appreciation for the wisdom and experience of older generations, fostering a richer sense of connection and continuity between different age groups.
That's a heartwarming thought. And on a broader level, wouldn't this challenge our cultural perceptions of aging? What does it even mean to be old in a society where people are routinely living to 100 or beyond?
It's a fundamental question that would force us to redefine our notions of age and the stages of life we need to move beyond outdated stereotypes and create a society that values the contributions and potential of people at every age.
Imagine a world where age is no longer seen as a limitation,
Yeah.
but rather as a badge of experience and wisdom. It's a truly inspiring vision, one where people of all ages can pursue their passions, contribute to society, and live fulfilling lives.
It's a future worth striving for, one that demands a collective shift in mindset and a willingness to embrace the possibilities of longer, healthier lives.
Well, we've covered a lot of ground today, from the science of aging to the potential societal transformations of a longer-lived world. It's clear that increasing lifespan isn't just about adding years to our lives. It's about adding life to our years and creating a future where everyone has the opportunity to live a long, healthy, and meaningful life.
That's a beautiful way to sum it up. It's an ongoing journey of discovery, and it's exciting to be a part of this unfolding story of human potential.
Thank you for taking the time out to listen to our deep dive. Until next time, stay healthy and stay informed.